everyone, and welcome back to the Leadership with a Twist podcast. I am your host, Heather McGonigal, and I'm here with my trusty sidekick co host, Barbara Schindler. Welcome,
Hi,
welcome.
Heather. Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
And today we want to talk to you about appreciation. Actually, Barbara, look at what I just realized. My coffee mug today is perfectly selected because it says a cup
Plan.
of gratitude. And I didn't plan that, folks. So we want to
That's what we're
talk to
talking
you
about today, a
about
cup of gratitude.
a cup of gratitude and appreciation because it really matters. Appreciation goes a long, long
Right.
way when working in business.
I love the representation of the cup, Heather, because what we're talking about today is that daily,
Mm.
moments that we can express authentic recognition, different than great job. Okay, sorry if I'm a little sarcastic, but it's not the performance of saying the right words that makes a difference. And yes, getting a raise, having good benefits, uh, bonuses, there's lots of ways to appreciate through a business that you recognize people. But one of the biggest ways is recognizing that your team really wants to do well. People are looking to achieve and contribute to the goals and accomplishments, one, to achieve on their own, and two, to really achieve those goals of the business. And taking that recognition, and really, I'll let you jump in here, Heather, how to do that calls for you to be engaged.
Mm.
And what we're noticing and acknowledging is when people are engaged. And guess what? The more you give a cup of gratitude on a regular basis, love the cup, I like that cup anyway. It's a cool cup. But that cup of gratitude, not one big demonstration, but who you are as a supervisor, as a business leader, makes the difference in how your team members start engaging through this type of relationship. So I'll
Well, I
let
think
you
what
talk,
you're
Heather.
sharing here too, Barbara, is we want it to be your daily, your ongoing habit. Kind of like my daily habit is to have some coffee in the morning from a cup of gratitude. We want your habit to be one of appreciation for your team, right? Because if you just out of the blue, or maybe after a big event, or after a launch, or after a sale, you shout out some appreciation to your team, well, that's fantastic. But if it just happens after those things, but it doesn't happen in the everyday, do you really have a healthy business culture that your team is working in where they feel appreciated in the everyday or not? Do they only get acknowledged every so often? Then what does it really feel like to work on your team? Healthy cultures have appreciation built into the everyday. And that requires the team members and supervisors and managers that are working with people in the everyday to notice moment to moment accomplishments that deserve your gratitude and appreciation. And so, what do we want to share here is that appreciation needs to be specific. Like, hey, Barbara, thank you for what you did getting those files organized for me yesterday, getting them alphabetized and getting them handed off to me by 4 o'clock, like we had set up. Because, well, number one, I hate alphabetizing, and I know that that was a tedious task. And I'm so grateful that you got it done and you got it done on time. And so when it was handed off to me, I knew that it was done correctly. It was done really well. I didn't have to worry about it, and I could move forward and do my part in a really easy way. And I really appreciate what you did.
Right. That, whatever the authentic truth is in that, it's also helping you as a leader, as a business leader, recognize the impact of others' work that you're acknowledging, but also starting to see that. And that freed me up to do my part at a better level because I didn't have to check that. I didn't have to check in with you. Where is it? Like all of those things. You don't have to say all those things, but you want to start recognizing how working with a team and engaging with others and recognizing their engagement and how it has a positive impact on the results or on, again, for your own role or somebody else, that freed up the leadership team to focus on the next report or whatever that is. And again, going back to my comment before, just saying the words that sound pretty. Hey, great job today. Okay, thanks. Goes,
Well,
it's
because
just
we don't
doesn't
know. Yeah, it
what did I
doesn't.
do that you noticed?
Right,
You know,
exactly. It starts to feel hollow and empty. At first it can feel like, okay, well maybe this is great. Maybe and then over time, if all you hear is, "Hey everyone, great job. Well done everyone." And that's all you hear, right? You might be listening to this and maybe you're working in a company where you're thinking if they would only say great job, thank you
right,
everyone. Believe me, I'd be happy for that. But trust me, if that's all you get without any specificity that actually acknowledges what you really did, it starts to feel empty and hollow and like, wait, do they really actually know what I do here? And this
right,
also brings up why we need different, at all levels of the organization, we need appreciation. Because if I, in that instance where I gave Barbara a very specific acknowledgement, I am Barbara's supervisor and or direct coworker and I know the specifics that went into the detail. And someone further above might be more removed from the detail and not know. So they wouldn't know that she had to alphabetize and it was kind of tedious, right? So they wouldn't even know to acknowledge her in that way. So we need to build into the team culture as well that everyone is acknowledging like what it takes or passing that up to the chain of command. Hey, did you know that in order for that all to be live, what the tech team actually had to do to get it ready? Let me share with you how tedious it actually was and how amazing what they accomplished really was. And let's give the CEO that information so that they can actually praise and acknowledge and appreciate the tech team in a very specific, real way that feels genuine.
so I would say the conversation that you're drawing here, Heather, leads us a little bit into the humble authority of leadership as well.
Yes.
And what I want to say is that's what you're describing there is remember, as a leader, as a business leader, supervisor, whatever you think of your role, your success is having successful, engaged people, they have the right resources, they have the right appreciation to acknowledge their engagement and their accomplishments so that you as a business leader, as you speak to your supervisor, the company owner, the senior leadership team, wherever you are in that map, is that you are bringing forward the success of the team. That's your success. And the one thing I want to add to that is humble authority is recognizing to also share the appreciation about the work you're doing. One, that you have an amazing team that's engaged and accomplishing the goals and working so well together with communication and actions, but also share what you're doing to contribute as well. It's not an either or. In fact, it needs to be all inclusive. So humble authority is recognizing for yourself as a resource for the company, but bringing that forward. And we're talking about the words to use, and there is a simple formula, to start practicing authentic appreciation. At the same time, it's the habits of who you are as a leader, the reputation you're building that comes from that. That's the organic, authentic experience that your team will engage more in. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I want to clarify for humble authority. In humble authority, as leaders, it's not all ego driven, right? Not just me, me, me. And yet, Barbara is pointing out that we're shifting. There's still a place from a humble place where you want to make sure that you are still bringing your own accomplishments forward as part of the team. Hey, I've accomplished this with my team. Some leaders can be, there's all kinds of leaders on teams, and some leaders can praise their team so much that they forget to even acknowledge themselves in the equation. And so
I
what
guess I was trying to
so
correct
what
that
Barbara's
swing.
bringing forward in this is to help correct for when that occurs.
Yeah, it's
Don't
not
be
an either
so
or.
humble in your acknowledgement of your team that you don't bring forward your own accomplishments.
But don't be on the other side
Don't be
where you
so
have to,
ego driven, right?
well, it's kind of like I need to be the smartest person in the room because I'm
Right.
the supervisor. That's what we want to recommend not doing. It's like I have the greatest project manager in the world, and I've helped develop them, and I make sure they have the right resources, and we meet on a regular basis to support their great work. Now you're shining along with your team.
Right. So, again, the best leaders practice and demonstrate a humble authority, one where they can be their best selves and they can shine and contribute from their skill set and also allow their team to shine alongside them and to blossom and grow. And both can stand together and be seen,
Right.
right? Not
And one
one
way to
over
do,
the
yeah.
other.
And going back to our full conversation here, one way to help your team shine is very specific, authentic recognition of what they're doing and the positive impact that they're achieving.
Right. So Barbara did mention that there's a formula for this. We will attach a document, a script that you can download under this video. And for our purposes in this conversation, we won't go into a full teaching. We'll just let you know that you acknowledge the person specifically. It doesn't have to be way down in the weeds specifically, but you want to name just one thing that they did and that they contributed with great clarity and why it mattered for you or for the business, the positive impact that it had, how it moved the needle and made a difference, and then say thank you.
Right. So you could start with, hey, thanks for getting that report to me yesterday. Or thanks for getting that report to me yesterday. I was able then to prepare for the marketing team meeting with that data that you provided. Or, hey, thank you so much for getting that report to me on time yesterday. I was able to prepare for the marketing team, and we were able then to make more informed decisions from the data you provided. Thank you so much.
And the thing about these specific acknowledgments is when people feel seen for what they contribute, they're like, oh, I could do that again. Or I'll go the extra mile and do more when the business needs me to because I know they see my effort. If your effort feels invisible, why would you give more? That would be like in a way foolish.
It just doesn't work that
I'm
way as humans.
I'm exhausted from giving, but let me give them more when they don't see, they don't acknowledge, and they don't seem to care what goes into what I'm already giving.
Well,
Right?
I'm sure everybody on this call at some point, Heather, I'm sure you've had this experience too, of putting a lot of work into something and one, it's not even acknowledged, like, okay, thanks for getting the report done. You don't see any value given or recognition of the value that maybe you
Right.
don't see. And you start feeling like, I don't want to just do empty work. I'm a good worker, but I want to produce results. I want to be part of achieving the outcomes together. Like that's what we really do want to do in our teams. So I've definitely had that experience myself. It's like I don't want to just do empty work. Is this just a report for making a report, or are you using the data? Tell me about that because next time I do that report, I'll have more information about how you use this report, and I can even achieve greater results for you. Right? It helps develop by having these conversations. I don't want to go too far off, but there's just a high level value. It's not just better wording, it's actually building team relationships, showing respect, achieving what the dynamic of a culture where people are achieving together, engaged in the work they're doing. And as Heather, you mentioned, it expands the engagement and the enthusiasm, if you will, to do more work together. And that's what we're
Yeah, I
supposed to
mean,
be doing.
people want healthy business cultures. We know this. We know that in the past year or two, I don't know how it feels like we're in an incredible time warp with all the craziness going on. So I don't know if that was a year or two ago now that people were upset with people like quiet quitting. Well, people quiet quit in unhealthy cultures where it's like, maybe I'll just like tread water and stay in place here. I feel kind of invisible and I'm not sure that my contribution even matters here. But people want their contribution to matter. They want to feel seen and valued. They want to connect. We're human beings and we thrive in community and connection and we want to matter. And we spend a great deal of our time at work. I'm having a flashback right now, feeling like I say this a lot in Leadership with a Twist. We spend a lot of time at work. We want to experience more joy, more appreciation, and more value at work. We don't actually want to feel like it doesn't matter. We don't actually want to like go numb and quiet quit. Not most of us, not from what I've experienced from the clients that I work with. Like people give with their whole heart until it gets taken advantage of. And
Right.
then they take care of themselves in different ways, right? But if you acknowledge and appreciate people for sharing their time, gifts, and talents with you, they will want to do more of that because that feels good. That's what we are here to do.
Right. And so I invite everybody who's hearing our podcast today to experiment with this because it's kind of like, addressing some of the, like you probably think, oh yeah, but I got this employee and, they're quiet quitting in some form or another, right? They're shutting down, they're not enthusiastic, I don't think they're engaged. And try this. Just practice this within your culture and see for yourself the kind of shifts in relationship and engagement that you might achieve. And this is kind of working, this is leadership with a twist, by the way. Underneath what's really going on the top that we're looking at, this is kind of the core piece that can shift the culture for you to be able to address performance and help others achieve to be shining in their roles. And again, I think, part of the twist is to recognize that maybe there's some alternative ways. Maybe there's another way to see something from the lens that you're looking at now in the performance of your team and the performance and reputation that you're building for your own role as a leader.
And I think the thing is, let me just say this, if you're listening to this video and you're feeling like, well, hey, Heather and Barbara, no, you don't understand. This doesn't apply to my situation, or I don't know how that would work here. Let me tell you about my situation and why I think it won't work here. Well, great. There's a link under this video where you can schedule a coffee chat with Barbara or myself, and you can tell us about your specific situation. You can get some free coaching from us to help apply it to your situation because we'd love to help you. We know this works. We're passionate about what we do and we like to help people have a better experience at work. We're passionate
Yeah.
about this. We know it makes a difference. And so please reach out and let us support you. That's what we love to do. And I think we've done it unless there's something you'd like to add for this topic
Mm.
today, Barbara. All right.
Yeah, I think we did it.
Well, I'm going to have another sip from my cup of gratitude, and I'm going to express gratitude for to coffee. Thank you for being here with us for this conversation. Thank you, Barbara, for being here as my partner in this conversation. We hope it was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you in the next Leadership with a Twist conversation.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.